Okay, it's recording.
Perfect. Okay, have a good meeting.
Okay,
Call if you need something.
Okay, thank you. Yep.
All right, bye.
Vest.
Mr. Chairman, we're live, ready to go.
Ready?
Yeah,
We're live.
4 minutes after.
Okay. Let's call the meeting to order. Start with roll call. Sorry for being late. Dorothy Bittner's excused. Mike Beauchamp's here. Jack is here. Chuck's here. Betty's here. Larry is here. Eric's here. Gary is not here. Dan is here, and Frank is not here. Everybody wants to take a few minutes and review December and January minutes so we can motion them and get them approved. Eric, I'll start with you.
First thing on the December minutes, John Whitney is our board liaison, not Jennifer. Okay. And on the, I emailed you on this under roundtable 6.
I mean, on the January. Jennifer was in December, right? Liaison.
Right. Okay. January. Sorry.
January. Okay.
And under roundtable, see, Frank, you have a number posted there, 848-2070. I tried calling that number, and all I did was ring. So I don't know what this number is for.
That's NITEC's number.
That's NITEC's number?
I was going to look at. Yeah, I think I gave that number.
Because that's not the one that they have on their website.
But I think it's the backdoor number.
Okay.
That's why I gave it.
Do you want it posted or should I just?
No, we'll post it. We'll just put down that it's NITEC. So
okay.
Everybody knows what it's NITEC.
NYTE.
NITTEC.
It's not the number.
Digit off.
Yeah.
It's 207.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Hold on, you got it?
I'm looking it up. I tried the first number first. I checked that 847-2070.
Okay, that's all right.
I gave that number. I know. And just put NITEC next to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I have for December. And January is just for liaison.
Mike?
Nothing on December. January, the vote, number 4, old business. Do we include vote counts on that, or just that it didn't pass?
I have only from the Sunshine. I wasn't here at their meeting, but we should have yeas and nays in that.
Well, just as a
Right.
general rule.
That's the one for Anchor Marine.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, it was 2 A's and 5 no's.
That's all I have.
There was actually 2 motions that day. One was
Right. One was for the poll to poll,
Okay.
the other one was 30 feet, I think was the magic number.
right. So the other one was 0 A's and 6 no's. Right. Okay. Anything else, Mike?
No, that's it.
Jack?
Under new business.
Which one?
Number 5, January number 5.
January.
Yeah, we have it under old business on for the meeting today. Can I discuss it under old business or just here?
Number 5, you want to discuss today, me?
Yes.
Let's do it around the round table. Is that all right?
Old business.
Well, you see it on old business on today?
We have it under specialty signs. Number 4, old
Okay,
business.
we'll do that when we get to the old business.
Okay, thank you. Otherwise, I'm good.
Okay. John, got anything else? Dick?
Yeah, in both minutes, about the Tunnel Road. It's the wastewater department, not water authority.
Okay.
Is that it?
Yes.
Chris, anything? Patty?
Nope.
No. Dan? Let's go motion to accept December minutes.
I'll make a motion.
Mike,
Second.
who's second?
I'll second it.
Patty, second. And then January?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Very good.
Very good, okay. Minutes are approved or changes, send them to us so we can get them in. We're gonna move on to old business, Dick, the Allen speed map.
The proposed final working draft, we'll call it a working draft because it's a working document. So I'm just gonna give it to Mrs. Burns, who's got the eagle eye.
Do you want to tape it up here or do you want to just look at it at your desk there?
How do we want to do it? I think
Just take a look at it. Questions on it.
Oz, I proclaim it good.
Can I ask a question though?
The Wizard of Oz, you know.
I have a,
Good?
It looks okay to me from what I can see.
Okay, okay. We want a motion to approve that?
wait just a minute. I have a question.
Okay.
I had a question. When you did the maps, I had a person looking for Marine Drive today, and it's part of Heron Point, and they've got like 5 or 6 streets in there, and so does Town Hall, but the other apartment complexes don't have street names on all their streets.
That's correct.
Were these to be included, or are we keeping all that stuff out of it?
That's private roads.
Pardon?
We're doing those private roads, so they're really not.
Okay, because I mean, there's like 5 or 6 along the Heron.
Really, yeah. Heron Point, they do have street signs up on Heron Point all the way through.
Yeah, the one I had, they were looking for Mariner Drive, Marine Drive, I think it is back here. And I said, there's no such road on the island. And then I started looking, but we don't have them. If you did one, you'd have to do them all anyway. But I just wondered if they were on that map.
Heron Point looks like they're doing quite well with street signs. The one that isn't is the Dell Apartments.
Yeah,
You go there and you have no idea where you're at.
yep, and the Country Gate too. But Heron just put the sign out, I forget what they're calling, Anchor Road or something, right on Whitehaven, that exit, they just put that sign up. I just asked the question before you finish it.
Okay. Any more discussion?
Yeah. The
Jack, you wanna?
only thing I got into was the map. For looking how it had all these different roads with different speeds and people doing stuff. I'm just looking at this. We're gonna have Eric on the board right now, and somebody else comes along someday and they take that white area and they say, why is that white area there? Let's make that area speed zone. Okay, because it's not going to be anything other than area speed zone. And somebody tries to put the area speed zone in that white area there, and they come along and they don't do it correctly, and they overlap onto like Fix Road and these other streets, then somebody's going to screw it up down in the, into the future. I just see it being a screw up into the future because we do that. I'm sorry, the engineering department does that. Somewhere along Fix Road, and we're working on Fix Road, right? Eric, what happened on Fix Road where they Well, they didn't take it, they took it too far when they went.
It wasn't, yeah, it wasn't written that.
Yeah, that was GE9.
Yeah, so the next fix.
Right.
Well, I don't see doing anything with it until there's development there. None of us might be.
Look at the number of roads in here.
Well,
This one's
that
way
was
back
my
here.
point. None of us are here for the
Got a whole
development in the future.
complex.
Somebody
You
doesn't know
just
how to
put
write a
this on the
DE9
just the
properly.
last
I
couple
can see
days.
these roads being messed up
Same
again,
town hall.
strictly because somebody didn't write a DE9 properly. And
She
you're
said,
looking
there's
at
no
it,
such
it's not
street
gonna be
like that on the
anything
island.
but area speed.
I was
zone.
wrong.
And if you're gonna do something, you got a map, and you're gonna have a draft process. I could see putting the whole thing area speed, there's not gonna be anything but area speed, and just doing it correctly, so the streets bordering this area speed.
Well, there'll always be someone at the county that can do the DE9s for us, if there's no one here to do it. Gina will be around for a while, and whoever takes her place, they'll be doing DE9s, because they have to look at ours anyhow, so the board can always get assistance from them.
Okay, I just looking at while the iron's hot. Somebody's-
So, Eric's point is key.
Yeah, right.
Because the only way it's gonna
Yeah.
be done is through the county.
Right. I'm just looking at the DE9 for fixed road being done incorrectly.
Well, yeah, and there was more than just.
Hang on.
Right.
There was a bunch.
You know, if we hadn't set that original
Hang on.
map to Gina at the county, and we thought we were done.
Can I interrupt you for a minute? This is Frank DeGeorge. He's trying to zoom in and he can't get in.
Did you get the email with the?
I don't know. I don't know what he's got. Frank, did you get, are you looking at the email that was sent out? He's trying. Yeah.
I'm gonna forward to him again.
Well. All right, Dick's gonna try to forward it to you again. I don't know what that's gonna do. You're trying to do it, right? You got the email and you clicked on the link the way you did in the past and it's not working. All right. Okay. But he's gonna send it to you again. Why don't you try it? All right. Did you get it yet? So did you, it's not working, Frank?
Matter, that whole area. No. Because you have new roads, you can put 1,000 roads in there, one road is here to speed 30 miles an hour. That is another speed limit. It's not very speed limit. Do you see any road going in there that won't be 30?
No.
So you got Dick's email.
You don't see any. Any road that development. South, east, west. Yeah, like I said, the maximum speed that's going to be in that whole white area is going to be 30 miles an hour. I don't see people anything but 30 miles an hour. So if it's going to be 30 miles an hour.
But it's still not working. Okay. You've exceeded my knowledge.
Probably all of ours.
Okay.
You can call in.
Okay. All right, Frank.
Hey,
All right.
Larry,
Wait.
you
Wait,
can
what?
call in on the phone too.
How do you do that?
There's a calling number on the email.
Frank, you still there? He says you can call in. There's a number. Is that in the email?
Yes.
You see that? See, I'm not looking at it.
Yeah, there's a phone number on it. I got this.
Well, I just sent him the link again. Have him try it one more time.
All right, he's gonna send you another email with a link. And it has a phone number there, right?
Yeah, tell him to try to connect off of this email again.
Try it again?
Yeah, tell him to try one more
All right, Dick wants you to try to connect
on the newest email.
on the latest. He sent you another email. He's gonna ask you to click on that again.
Yeah. Larry, just tell him to try. If he gets in, he gets in. If not, there's nothing on it.
Why don't you try it one more? Just try it, Frank. If you can't, and we'll just disconnect. All right.
Yeah. Right there.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll move on. Just if he gets in, he gets in.
Okay.
Wait.
All right, Frank. Okay. Bye.
Okay.
We're also.
More discussion on that, or are we done, or? Yeah.
Take a lot of time to think about it.
Okay. We want to take a motion to approve them, the map.
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Jack,
I'll second it.
okay. Do we have to vote on that, or no?
You could.
You got a motion.
All in favor,
Aye.
or everyone? Okay. So you got to turn that into Gina now, or?
Yeah, we'll send an electronic copy to her.
Okay.
For her to take a look at it.
Okay. Well, thank everyone for their hard work on it. We spent some long time on doing that.
Jack, what are you gonna do now?
Yeah. Thank you very much. I think it'll get there and probably another 20 years before we have to worry about it.
We can take it off.
We can take it off. We're done.
Actually, you know, it should be looked at and thought about some kind of a 2, 3, 5 year review. It should be reviewed periodically, not go 20 years ago.
How do we make that happen?
It's up to us. You know, this group saying, okay, you know, in a couple of years, we're gonna review it again. Make sure nothing has changed, there's new development, there's development.
I can put a reminder in my phone. My phone will be in forever, so. But, so I mean, I'll be here
I think
forever.
every 5 years might be
Yeah.
reasonable.
Can we all get a copy?
Yeah, we should put it in there to be reviewed every 5 years.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if there's nothing to change, it's a 2-minute thing.
Right.
And the thing with annually is that you've got building projects that are on the docket in the town, so
Mhm.
we're gonna follow those and see where they go. And that development goes in, then we're ready, so yearly would be better.
Yearly, you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we get
Does the town have
copies?
a map, or, we built a map? No, I know. So we'll be able to just pop it up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yearly, okay. All right, we want to move on to number 2, 2780 Long Road. We tabled it. Are we still tabled?
Yeah, because we haven't got it. We'll just keep it on until we see what happens with the developer.
Do we get it on or we take it off?
I don't know. Is there anything happening?
They are in the secret process right now. So the town has approved the draft scoping document under secret. And it's up to them now. It's basically like a table of contents for all the studies that have to be done. So they have to start providing those studies now. Then they have to put a minimum of $50,000 in escrow for the town to hire our own consultants to review their documents. Pay for that. So I mean, really nothing as far as.
So we can take it off.
But there will be a traffic study. That's one of the big things that we are very concerned about.
Right. So we can take it off until they do that traffic study.
Sure. Okay. No, no, to drop that before. My point would be to refer it to Traffic Safety Advisory Board when we receive it.
Okay.
Their review. And then at that time, it would be to Chair Carter.
We'll take it off, but now. We'll move on to number 3, no parking anytime, Carroll Road Playground, waiting on ditch report from the wastewater. And
So what we'll do in the springtime is we will put in 2 signs that are spaced out. We're gonna look at the stop sign that's there. There's some trees there, there's a curb there. So we'll put 2, no parking between signs and the arrows pointing to each other. Because that is the on-road parking side of the street for residents.
right.
And we could just do, if someone recommended 30 feet on both sides of the drive, that seems to be good.
Yeah, I just want to look to see where the trees are and everything else.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do we want to keep this or get rid of it?
You can, it'll get done in the spring.
Okay.
Just document that and we can get rid of it.
Okay. Number 4. Specialty warning signs. Dick.
So
list.
there was a question about them.
And Jack had a question.
I have about 2 or 3 different times driving the corridors onto the island, and here's the list that I have come up with.
The one we had in January was just here, obviously, so it was just for the beginning of it.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
You have another one, sir?
oh, I'm sorry. The fragment.
Yes, we work together well.
What was your number again?
It's a good thing to have.
Here's a bunch of here. Dick, there's a message on the, you gotta click that remind me in 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Is this Creekside?
Yeah.
Jack, you had a question earlier.
Just reading this new list, 10 Whitney between 1916 Broadway. How does that work?
Well, the end house is really, address is Whitney, it's not Broadway.
Oh, okay, so it's not on Whitney, it's right there,
Right.
section Broadway.
Right, so it's that last house on the corner of Whitney and Broadway.
They got the county sign there. The blind person sign on Baseline, county also wise. That's Whitehaven and Tops.
Yeah. Where's it exactly?
Where is it?
Going home tonight. It's right on the corner of Whitehaven heading south. It's on Baseline, right at Whitehaven. You're heading north. It's when you're coming out of the Tufts parking lot on Baseline and make the right-hand turn.
Oh, yeah.
Right there.
What kind of sign is that?
Flying.
Right.
It's 1339 and 1411.
Western.
Is that Buster?
That's Buster, yeah. So they're in the 1500 block.
It is, so that's 16.
The 1625 is, if that's up by Love, that's a depth sign. 1625 is by Love, that one's for a depth.
So we'll recheck that.
It's depth.
Shadows right, list in progress. Shadows right, list in progress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the child with autism sign. I was out at Autistic Services on Creekside Stall Road, and the sign they have out there is it has child. It's a yellow diamond.
Yep.
You know, child with autism area. The only thing that we have on the West River would just be consistent with all of these signs. The autistic sign we have on West River is a crosswalk sign and it's a square sign.
And that's what the county did, so.
Those are new signs, Jack.
Yeah.
What they use for autism now, they use the rectangular one on the bottom, and they just have a person on it for the diamond sign.
Okay.
It just tells you that's the area.
I'm just looking at all of our other warning signs are the yellow diamond. And that
This just got reapproved.
got reapproved. I just like I said, looking at Autistic Services. So this is the yellow diamond, child with autism area. So it just doesn't match all of our other warning signs. So I'm just looking at for consistency. If that's what you want to put up, I'm just
Well,
mentioning for
whatever the
consistency.
NUTC book tells you to put out.
Yeah.
So.
And you can use the green, yellow fluorescent.
Could be,
And those are the new ones.
What could be?
the ones you're looking at. Could be older signs. Or they could have just had it, I don't know.
Yeah.
But the autism ones just recently got approved or reapproved.
That's why I was wondering. That was my assumption too. The autism signs just got approved statewide.
So
And
the ones we put up, we just got.
I'm just looking at if ours were just put up because of new approval, Autistic Services probably couldn't have been put up that much longer than our signs, and that's what they have out there. So I was just looking at for consistency. Okay, that's just,
So we're gonna put up whatever the NVTC current regulations states the sign, whatever colors they have, that's what we're putting up.
So the other ones would just stay grandfathered in, correct?
This is the only one we have.
So the autistic
Oh,
one,
okay, it's
yeah.
only one, okay.
He's talking about the service center.
Oh, okay, I got it.
I'm sorry about all the other warning signs do not match that autistic sign. That's all. And you have like county sign, you know, on baseline, so what that blind person sign on baseline
Have no control
at Whitehaven, that would be a county sign designated as a county sign also. Okay, so if I was a citizen on Grand Island and I called your office to say I would like a sign put up, and if I lived on a county road, you would direct me to the county.
We do that every day.
Okay, so you direct me to the county there. All right. And children at play signs. If these are, when you said they were grandfathered in, if I put up one on my street tomorrow, what are you gonna do, Willis?
If you put it on our post, we're gonna take it down.
You're gonna take it down?
I'd like to talk about that. What is this grandfathered in for? Where did that come from? It's not a sign anymore. It's not a registered sign. So why are we allowing them to be there? You put a playground sign down. That's what the manual calls for. And so now we're going to have these, and people are going to call and say, well, I want one like that. Oh, that's grandfathered in. Not grandfathered in, it should come down.
Could you just say current regulations don't allow that?
they don't,
Right.
you can't take it down? Are you sure?
No, my solution, if somebody calls and says, why can't I get one of those? Current regulations don't allow it.
I think we should take them all down. It's not a recognized sign anymore, Jack. I mean, I'm just saying. So why are we allowing a sign to stay up? That's no longer in the manual.
I mentioned at the last meeting, Norm Merkel would always say they're not supposed to be put up. And so I was surprised to see when we were told that it was grandfathered in. I'm going, okay, does that also then create some sort of liability to the town, that the town is accepting these signs, that the town grandfathered in signs, and if something happens or somebody else doesn't have a sign up, should the town have put one up? So you're right.
So the manual says you should put a sign up for a playground, but in a residential area where children are playing, these are not unique areas. So
does it say they should be taken down?
I don't know. I don't have a manual in front of me, but it's not.
Something we can look into that.
I mean, I think they should just come down. Is that way you the first, I got to tell you a story. The first traffic safety board meeting I ever attended, we sat around and it was like a coffee clutch. And they said, gee, so-and-so wants a children at play sign. Oh, gee, yeah, I think, maybe we should. Yeah. And they were going to put the sign up. And I said, that's addressed in the manual, And at the time it was, you could put them up in an area where you wouldn't expect children to be playing, like in an industrial area. If there was a little row of houses near a factory or something, I don't know. They had some bizarre thing like that, but that doesn't exist anymore.
I thought you said the town lawyer said keep them.
I was given information that it was posted a town attorney, and the answer was.
So if we got direction from the town attorney to leave them up, why are we going any further?
Now,
I think it's foolish.
Yeah, no, but we have direction.
Well, I understand. I mean, the town, this board could recommend that they come down, and if the town attorney didn't want to do it, fine.
Is there any harm to keeping them up though?
Well, it's just, why do it? Why?
Oh, they're up.
Yeah.
Is it?
Because the sign doesn't exist anymore. That's why.
Well, things change.
So then take it down.
Who's going to take care of the fallout?
When you take them down.
They take them down.
You're talking, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here, which would be 7 streets of fallout.
So you're going to be 7 streets of fallout.
I guess my thing with it is I don't know if I was the town, I want to list them as our official list of where we have these things. If somebody has one up, and they have one up. But if you have, you have these children play signs listed on our official list of signs, then there's some sort of responsibility if you list.
Okay, so let's say the sign becomes deteriorated and it's rusted. Okay, and it looks ugly, and it needs painting, and it needs replacement. What are we doing?
That's my point. I don't want to be involved with it. If the parents put one up, then they put one up. But I don't think it should be.
Well, what you could do is you could take a pickup truck and just go down and have a few accidents, and we could sell that whole thing. That's what they do on the res. That's what the Tuscarora Indian Reservation does. That's what they don't like a sign. They get the res rocket and they knock them over. I don't know. It's if you feel that strongly about it.
I mean,
I just think it's foolish to have a sign that's not even in the map.
Yeah,
why are they?
When they say grandfathered in, okay.
Grandfather.
Well, there's a lot of things in this world that are grandfathered in. It's just like years ago, my grandfather owned a repair shop until today because it's still in our family's name and it's over in Riverside. If we want to open another repair shop up there, I'm still under the grandfather clause. Okay. So the town attorney's already looked at these, and the town attorney's already said, leave them up. I say, we're done. I mean, why are we going to beat a dead horse? We've already been advised by legal.
Whatever.
You know what I mean?
I think it's foolish, but go ahead.
But we've already been advised.
Yeah.
I just want to list them as part of our official town signage.
Well,
I want to put them up, they're up.
Yeah.
So if people put them up anymore, they buy a sign and they put it up, we would take it down.
I would believe that.
Right.
You can't do that, can you? You know, buy a sign, put it on the road.
You can't, that's the law, to put any sign on the town sign.
Right. So,
They just put their own posts and put a sign up. I just don't, I guess
It's not their property, it's in the right of way, you just take it down.
Take it down.
right.
if you wanted to.
That's what I'm just saying. It's on the right of way, and it's a sign that doesn't exist in the manual. It should come down. But whatever, you've already discussed it. You made a decision. Fine, I'm not gonna be. You know,
So
end of discussion.
we're working on a list then still. And
Yeah, we'll take these changes from time to time.
where is the autism sign at?
That's West River.
Where?
West River,
West River?
near the north end, closer to the north end. So.
Okay. That's the only one on the island.
My third avenue.
Okay. I was curious. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna move on from that to Sunset Drive. Dick, you're on the hot seat tonight.
It's pretty cool over there. It still works, you know, by springtime.
And what is the solution? That we're not doing anything, or we're gonna put up a
It's kind of trim, isn't it?
school bus stop ahead sign, or what?
You know, as I spoke the last meeting, they're very close to just working with the neighbors to have the edges cut down to 3
Mhm.
feet,
Turn back.
and life will go on.
So do we need this on the agenda anymore?
Not anymore. It's in Nick's, report.
We have to find some stuff to put on our agenda, guys.
I know.
Well, we got new business. I have nothing here.
We didn't get anything new that I'm aware of.
No. No table?
Are we doing roundtable or is this new business?
We have no new business unless you have something.
Well, I got something I'm gonna pass out.
Okay.
It's an accident report happened on 12/3/21. It was at the intersection of Bush and Baseline.
This is going on the round table.
The reason I bring it up, I saw the accident and I couldn't figure out why something like that would happen. Because, you know, we had some issues with sight distance and the county's, you know, cut it back. And so I asked Chris to get me a copy of it. I said, what happened? Why would somebody do this? And so he sent me a copy of the accident report, and he happened to know when he talked to the officer on the scene, was the captain, said that the person, driver one, thought it was an all-way stop. So I told Eric about it, and I said, this is one of the problems when you put all-way stops that shouldn't be there, that are at Baseline and Fix. Because apparently he thought it was an all-way stop. And it's my opinion, because of the fact that we have one intersection that should not be an all-way stop, it didn't meet the warrants clearly. The county did less than due diligence when they made that decision. But this is kind of the opposite. This could be a byproduct of that. And so I know we're not going to change anything. I think the point I would just want to make, this is why it's important to follow the manual. Because when you deviate from that, sometimes you get side effects or things that happen that you wouldn't expect. And I believe this is one. I think it's too bad, and we're never going to change that. I do have one question, Chris, on the accident. When they talk about the number 10 on the accident report, safety equipment used. In this accident, they have 7 and A. And number 7 is airbag deployed. And then A says airbag deployed lap belt harness. So does that mean the guy who has number 7 didn't have a seatbelt on?
If just the airbag, that's how it's written. Yeah, I don't have the code, but that's what you, if it's just.
They mean the airbag deployed, but he didn't have a seatbelt.
If it's just listed as airbag deployed.
Well, I guess he should have gone to the hospital. He didn't put his
It would
seatbelt.
say airbag deployed and lamp.
Okay. And one of the reasons I bring it up is because I still have a problem with all the stop ahead signs that we have in the town of Grand Island.
They're doing them all over.
And this is what I'm afraid of, because at some point in time, no one will take responsibility for how they got up. Who put them up? Former highway superintendent said he didn't know. When I asked people on the traffic safety board, well, I don't know. So apparently we had a phantom sign crew that was going around at night putting up these signs, and nobody knew anything about it. I don't know how it happened. But see, this is the problem that I see. You put stop ahead signs where they aren't called for, or they don't meet the guideline of within the stopping sight distance. Then you have stop ahead signs everywhere. And then people say, well, gee, there's no stop ahead. How come there's one here and there's one not there? Because we don't use any judgment. We just put them up. I don't know why. That's why I believe many of them should come down.
Well, Larry, we went through that. We went through all.
I don't know if we got them all the way.
I thought we checked all of them, and with the ones that were remaining, we felt were necessary, were still necessary.
Well, I'll
Ones
take a
that were
look.
out there-
If I see any more, then I don't think we got them. I think there's more on I've seen some on the north end of the island, that I think. I don't know. It's just something that I believe that we should follow the manual. Well, not everybody agrees.
They're county, we can't touch them.
Well, yeah, you're right.
What manual is this like?
Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices, MUTCD. It's available to everyone online. They want to look at it. That's all I have.
Okay.
I'd like to request a couple of those maps after they're done, and I think we should all have a copy.
Anybody else? We can email you out, or we can print them off.
I'll print them off. I'll come in and pick one up.
Does everybody want one?
I want 2 because I want one for.
I was taking email version. That's my
Email versions.
Yeah.
Will they? 2. Pardon? I think the printed one's going to be hard to read. We should have one at the library and probably a few places, don't you think?
Well, that was easy.
He's quick.
As long as you don't want the bus stops on all of them. And the shelters.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Chris? Okay.
This might sound like change of Congress, but talking about signs tonight. Best signs on Grand Island are the New York State Thruway. People sort of forget, live on Grand Island. So if you listen to the news, people say in Grand Island. Now we go,
In Grand Island.
in Grand Island. I talked to the pharmacist at Tops, because you call Tops, it's located on Grand Island Boulevard in Grand Island. I says, that makes it sound like, you have no connection to the community, because people who live here, we live on Grand Island. Okay, I like that. I like that we live on an island. That's unique. That's unique. You have all these tourists that are going over the bridges. Now you might see some water, but I don't know if they necessarily realize that they're on an island. Okay, but if you go down the Thruway and you look as you get toward Beaver Island, is the last exit on island. It really specifies on island. And if you go northwise, it says the same thing. The last one at Long Road is last exit on Grand Island. So of all the people who don't know if they should say in Grand Island, I like that because all these tourists and people coming through and saying, hey, I'm proud of where I live and I live on Grand Island. And that's really the only place that you really see somebody promoting the fact I don't live on Kenmore or I don't live on Tom.
I would agree with you, Jack. I always try to make that distinction when I I tell people, when people say, well, where do you live? I live on Grand Island.
That's my point.
Not in Grand Island.
In the town of Grand Island.
Yes, so on Grand Island. So I like to commend the Thruway for doing it correctly.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that they have on Grand Island. Every time I go by those signs, I feel a little bit proud and say, this is where I live. This is my home on Grand Island. And if anybody ever wants to know, should it say in? No, it's on. That's my chamber of comments. Okay, for the night.
I think they have an error because coming from the North Bridge, it says Grand Island Business District, exit 20, when it's actually 19.
They're trying to get more people to travel further down the road.
But that's not the center of town.
Get off a long road and travel the whole length of
And every town over in Kenmore coming to the bridge on the south side, they have business district. We have nothing that says we have a Grand Island Business District. Pardon? Well, but people coming on, they don't see the dedication that there's a business district on the island. I fought that for 20 years on the chamber and they went by the wayside too. You don't see it till you get off and then you have your signs. By the way, the town sign looks very nice. Very nice.
Town property.
Mike?
We had that pedestrian incident back in September. I just heard it toned out with the fire department. Chris got the report. It looks like a driver, it was Whitehaven in the Boulevard. The driver had a green and was making a right and somebody was crossing and he either stopped in time or maybe just brushed him because the guy was okay. He was checked out and walked home. So that's all that was.
Then the pedestrian was crossing with a signal.
Yeah, he must, because the guy had the green, the driver had the green. And
He made the right.
So he had the red.
Okay. So the driver wasn't watching for pedestrians when he made a right-hand turn.
It said he saw him. It's kind of
He saw him and he missed him.
He
Tried to hit him, but
He didn't really miss him.
I think he scared him one time.
Both were scared.
Yes. So that's all I have.
We got a set of plans from South Point. The only thing that we have to know about is that they reduced the amount of occupancy by, I think, 7 units, if I'm not mistaken, 5 to 7 units. But it has nothing to do with traffic. From planning, we get it from planning, and they set the South Point. It's all they did was reduce the number of apartments for whatever reason. Their project.
You got something?
Yeah, I do. Did you get a copy of this one?
I did not.
No. This is
17 lot subdivision on Heath Road, behind the Island Presbyterian Church, across from lots 5.
Tomwood and
Dave Mazur's project.
It's just preliminary plat right now.
What are they putting in there?
17 single family homes.
John Stickle?
yes. No island.
Huh?
No island in it, just a circle. That's easier to plow.
Perfect. Go.
Where is that? I'm sorry.
Behind Presbyterian Church. Booth Road.
I'm not sure why you don't have a copy of this.
I don't know either.
Who would that normally be sent?
We just declared the agency for secret.
It's in the packet. It's the planning board.
I didn't get any.
They got that man for his son. They sold it to him. Dave Mazur's.
Electronically or no? Okay.
Let me look into it tomorrow and we'll do that. I'm sure it's out to you guys now.
Yeah, see if we can get electronically, so we can look at it, we have something to talk about the next one.
Hollywood Circle.
The overpass at Grand Island Boulevard, is that coming up?
Overpass?
Yeah. It's up
Well,
there.
I know that the Thruway is doing some investigation on the detail.
Not saying you're running. I'm just thinking it was ready to be.
I think they're looking at how we're going to put in functioning vehicles. They were asking for the timing of the lights off of the 190. And it was kind of strange, a firm out of Rochester, but he asked if I had noticed if there were backups. And we haven't seen any backups in the morning because the lights are on. And that was his question. And I asked him for detail on it, and I received that. So, yeah, we're going to review that whole overpass. If you were going to South Carolina.
And I think they're going to extend the on-ramp, southbound on-ramp, they'll try to do that.
Initially, yeah.
Because it's so short now and.
Yeah, it is bad.
There's no run out.
Also, they're gonna do some reconstruction.
Yeah.
Nobody detailed anybody the way they were.
Landmass to redo that anyway? Is there no?
When's that?
I think there is.
Supposed to.
They said to move it out.
24 or 23, but
Is there a redo the bridge?
Now, this is no, it's got pushed back.
but it could potentially be pushed again because they've had bad publicity about bridges. But, you know.
I have nothing. Hopefully we get some information on that. We have something for next month. We need some business to conduct. We're too good. Huh? We're too good. Well, that's a good thing.
If we don't have anything for next month, we can always cancel. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
We'll just see what happens.
All right.
Because if we only got one thing on the agenda, it's big signs. No price tag, but we start. It's not worth having a meeting on.
Right.
See, we should take these children at play signs out, and then we'd have something to do.
I'll be watching one on my screen.
No big
Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it. Second. Okay. All right.
Dick, do you have to sign this thing off? I'm not knowing. I'm gonna turn my phone on and see if we have a baby yet.
Just became a great uncle again.
I'm gonna be a great grandmother.